Hi, hello, and welcome, welcome. And today it's time for a new Q&A session. But for this one, I choose some random generated questions by a random generator app. And it's very interesting what list I received. So I hope you enjoy. But for me, it will be quite tricky to respond to some of them. Let's start. And the first question, let's see. Well, so this one is done. If you could choose a fictional universe to live, which you would pick and why? Fictional universe. Or maybe something, a fantasy land. Or old, I don't know. In the medieval era of knights, like Camelot. Yes, Camelot, I think it's the best. And it's a fictional universe. And why? I was impressed every time I read about knights and princesses in that area. And when I was young, I read some very nice tales about medieval battles with knights and paladins and different types of intriguing wars and so on. I was fascinated. Right. And of course I liked Lord of the Rings, which is one of my favorite movies. But that environment from Lord of the Rings somehow resemble my wish, for example, to live in a fictional universe, maybe close to that one. Right, next question. So this one is if animals could talk, which one do you think will be the most annoying one? And which one will be the nicest one? Well, annoying one. I think the most annoying voice would be the voice of a fly. Well, try to imagine a fly that is buzzing you and somehow manage to talk with you with some, I don't know, a fly voice. I don't know how it that could be a good sound, but it would be very annoying, like bzzz, 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 bzzz. Yeah. And the nicest one, I think a dog or a cat would be very nice to express their feelings directly through a voice, right? And there could be a small puppy, like saying, I love you, or I need food, or I'm hungry, or let me go outside or something. It would be so nice and cool, right? To hear a pet, or a dog or a cat speaking. Right, that's right. Good. So, if you were a food item, what would you be and how people will describe your flavor. I think this is related to my favorite foods, and one of my favorite foods is pizza. And of course, if I want to somehow absurdly being a food item, I think a pizza will be nice. But in terms of flavor, I want to be hot or spicy. So, spicy, maybe. A spicy flavor. Or sour and sweet, I don't know. So, sweet sour. Next, let's see. Oh my god, some weird questions. There are weird questions. And tricky ones, believe me. What's just a moment. What's a weird habit that you have and a very few people know about? Okay. Oh my god. I think I have many weird habits. Okay, one, I think it's weird. It's that sometimes, mostly when I'm alone, I'm thinking with loud voice. So I'm talking with me, alright? So, and I'm arguing with me. Sounds weird, right? But the weirdest thing is when I do this behavior, when I have this behavior, when somebody is around me, and believe me, happened a few times, to think with a loud voice and speaking with me, and the guys near me looked at me so shocked, and like they said, this is a lunatic or something. And I apologized myself because I was in my own mind, right? It happens to me a few times because I'm very used to talk with me when I'm alone. But yeah, don't imagine that I'm walking on the street and talking with me or thinking with loud voice or something. But when I'm alone, I think many people are doing this. For me, it's some sort of exercise. Planning, arguing, and something that I did wrong or good, and trying to correct some errors from the past or from my behavior, I think. Well, I'm the only person that I trust myself, so I trust my own ego, and my own ego trust me as an entity. Good. My god, this was a tricky one. What's the strangest thing you ever Google it? Wow, I don't know, I was curious. I Google a lot of things because I'm a very curious person by myself, so native, very. So every time I hear something and I don't know, I start Google it. I take out my phone and I Google it fast not to forget that idea. And this is how mostly I inform myself. But the strangest thing that I ever Google it, I cannot make a top of the strangest things. Of one of the things that I remember now, it's a few months ago, or maybe years, I don't know. a few years. I was curious how, if it's possible to train a fish. Yeah, to domesticate a fish, to train a fish to be your pet. So I think this is one of the strangest. And believe me, I was quite shocked about how many people tried to do that, to tame fishes. Yeah, to tame fishes. Yeah, but not tame, like more like train it to do something when it's tame, for example, to recognize you, for example, to be close to you, but to train it to do something, it's quite another level, and that was I was interested. Alright, well, what I have discovered is that dolphins and whales, they are very smart and easy to be trained, tamed and trained, and in the history there were also military training for dolphins and whales, and yes, but I was more focused on, let's say, normal fishes. For example, like a catfish. Good. I think this came in my mind as the most weirdest thing that I ever googled now, but if I'm thinking again a few times, more other ideas will come in my mind. If you could instantly become an expert in a hobby, which one you gonna pick and why? I think I would like to be a very good football player. Yes, I played football a lot of time when I was young and I enjoyed it very much. But due to a broken leg on football pitch, I quit. So when I was in the 9th grade, I suffered a horrible injury to one of my legs. I cracked my tibia on a fault, and I was forced to stay 6 weeks in a wheelchair. And after that, I started again to learn how to walk because my muscles were atrophied. But since then, I never be able to play football so good. And I started again to play football now after almost 20 years. And of course, I'm far away from that sporty shape from that period, so I want to regain my skills from there, if you ask me, but it's hard. Alright, next. What's a superpower you never want to have and why? A superpower you don't want to have. I think the most dangerous thing, or the most dangerous superpower that you can have, it's time travel. I I don't want to use time travel. I don't want to see the future. I want to enjoy it as it is. And for the past, no, nothing can be changed in the past. Well, we can prevent the future, but for the past, we cannot do anything to change it. We need to admit it as it is. And I think this is the only superpower that I don't want. Time travel. Right. So good. Right. If you could invite 3 people, why 3? From any time in history to a dinner, who will choose and what will you serve them? 3 people from history. One, it will be Alexander the Great, which I am venerating him. For me, it's one of the greatest history figures ever. So one will be Alexander the Great. The second one will be Albert Einstein. I am fascinated by his discoveries, and it was one of the greatest 20th century's figures. And the third one, let's think, it will be, and the third one will be Julius Caesar. Yeah. So, Alexander the Great, Albert Einstein, and Julius Caesar. I will have a dinner with them. And what I will serve them? Well, I don't know. Maybe something, a very Romanian food recipe. I think they would like that kind of food. We have sarmale or mici. I think everybody loves. So you're gonna be unloved on the Romanian food recipes. They are very tasty, and I think all the 3 of them will enjoy that. So it will be a nice Romanian dinner, tempt dinner. Next, let's take another question. If your personality was a color, what would it be? My favorite color is red. I cannot say I have a favorite color, but if I want to pick one, I think it will be red. So, this is my character, red. What's the most interesting thing? What's the most interesting thing you own that will surprise people? My brain. Yeah. I think my prolific weapon to help people, or it's my brain. It's not an apple. It's an app, let's say, to help people. My brain. Because I read a lot. I inform myself every time I have my occasion, so I'm considering myself a smart guy. And I'm not prizing myself with this sentence. So, my brain. And yes, some people are, mostly the friends, are quite, they're looking at me admirative because of my, let's say, knowledge. If your favorite smell had to be captured in a candle, what it will be and what it will be called? Wow. So first, let's talk about one of my favorite smells. There are two. The fresh orange peel. That very nice, refreshing orange peel smell, and the vanilla I like very much. So, orange vanilla candle, let's say. Orange vanilla candle, orange funny candy, orange funny candle. It will be so. It will combine the fresh orange peels with vanilla flowers. Right. What is the most out there conspiracy theory you think might have some truth in it? So, it's about a conspiracy theory you secretly think might have some truth in it. Wow. Well, I'm very sure that we are not alone in this universe. Yes, some conspiracionists think that we are alone and alone because if we might not be alone, we will discover until now other intelligent life out there. But I think we are not prepared or technological advanced enough to do more deep research in the cosmic field, in space, because I think we are only researching about 0.0001% of the space out there. But I'm very sure that we are not alone in this universe. But let's think about this. Why God would ever create a so huge infinite universe just for one small planet with some people living in it? Why? And why he has created so many stars and planets and galaxies? Because I think there are lives, there are living creatures out there somewhere deep. Well, at some point, maybe in a few thousand years, we're gonna exchange some, and we're gonna discover some life intelligence in space, other than us, of course. Let's say alien life or extraterrestrial life. If you had to spend 1 month without technology, where will you go and what do you will do? I think I would go somewhere remotely. Well, somewhere remotely. I hope it would be in the summer to be warm enough outside to live in a tent or maybe in a remote area. And I would be happy even without technology. But that's a weird thing because I cannot abstain myself on quitting uploading ASMR videos for 1 week. But for 1 month, this is unacceptable. Right. Good. Next. What mythical creature do you think you'd get along with the best? Maybe mythical creature. Well, depends on the mythology. I think I guess, I will stick with a dragon. It's a mythical creature. Well, with a dragon, mostly. Right. If you could trade lives with any historical figure for a day, who would you choose and what you would want to experience? Well, I would choose to live for one day as Alexander the Great in the ancient time, because I was fascinated by his strategical wisdom and military tactics. And yes, with him I will exchange the lives, and I bet he will be very impressed to live in my skin in our time. Well, very interesting questions, right? And hard to theoretical ones, with hard to respond to many of them. Of course, because we are at the end, just write down some comments about your experience and what you would respond to this Q&A list. I want to see also your thoughts and your personality. So this is more like a personality test than a Q&A. But it was fun. Alright. And of course, thank you very much for watching. And until tomorrow, all the best to you. Bye bye. So